Live from the NJ.com studio comes the only weekly TV podcast you'll need, where a lofty critic squares off with an obsessed superfan on everything from highbrow drama to lowbrow reality. The cocktail shaker is ready. Prepare for your TV hangover. Now, your hosts, Vicki Hyman and Erin Medley.
Hello and welcome to TV Hangover. This is episode 35. This podcast is now older than I am.
Oh my god.
I know, sad, right? I am Erin Medley alongside the lovely, the beautiful, wearing green Vicki Hyman.
And the older Vicki Hyman.
Well,
we got another 10 episodes to go.
We'll catch up to you. Don't worry, Vicki. Don't forget to follow us on social at TV Hangover Show, at E_meds, and at Vicki High, VICKIHY. Guys, we have an email address. We haven't received an email in months.
Even our devoted followers
and
fans.
Listeners have stopped emailing us.
Maybe it's because you can't remember Randy's name.
Look, I got it. Randy from Pittsburgh, right? Okay. It's TV Hangover Show at NJ@advancemedia.com. Maybe it's because
it's just a ridiculous
long.
email.
It's beyond. But you can always reach us on Twitter, and we love hearing from you. Now, Vicki, the binge-a-thon continues.
Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Did you find season 6 somewhere?
Well,
we're not going to say. Never mind. I didn't ask that question.
Let me tell you what happened. Okay, so I finished season 5 last week. We're in Alexandria. Things are happening. That guy from season 1 shows up. Morgan, thank you. Rick had just killed someone, the wife abuser.
Yes.
Whatever his name was. And that's where season 5 ended. So now I'm like, okay, I can't find season 6. It's not on demand. It's not on AMC. The only episodes that are available are 9 through 16. So I still need 1 through 8. So I'm like, all right, do I just move on to House of Cards, which will be the next show I binge watch? And I was like, no, I can't do it. I need to catch up. So I did Google Walking Dead season 6.
And you managed to find it somewhere?
I managed to find the first episode of season 6, and so that's what I watched. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this whole that whole part of the season is the Glenn season, which you've heard us talk about on the show before. Mm-hmm. So, really, as far as I'm concerned, you could just skip that season.
The whole season?
The whole season.
No.
The whole season.
I will say that I wasn't impressed by that season opener. Where it's black and white.
I did really like it, and that whole first part of the season basically takes place over the course of a day or two.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was very interesting, although I was very unhappy with the whole Glenn thing.
Right, because they're trying to get there's a horde. What do they call it? A horde or a herd?
A horde coming out of a rock quarry where they'd been trapped, and of course they happen to be there just as I think a tractor trailer that had been blocking them and falls off. Just happens to be there,
right? Then they have to
poking holes in The Walking Dead. I know, ridiculous.
Easy to do, I will say. And then all of these new characters showed up, and they're like, "We've been on a run," and I'm like, "For how long?" What? Look, I understand the show has to introduce new characters, but that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so I will catch up. I'll let you know. Let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh my God, let me stop writing my rated M for mature audiences fan fiction about Tormund and Brienne.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to talk about it now. I was fanning myself.
I thought it was I didn't pick up on it.
Oh my God. I actually, my husband didn't pick up on it. And I said, no, you got to watch it. I made him watch it.
But is it a one-sided love affair?
It seems to be, although her reaction to his, eating his meat in a sexual way was hysterical to watch. And Pod staring at him. Oh, it was just, I love this season. It's just got these wonderful little moments of hilarity.
Yes, because you need that in King's Landing and all other places, because otherwise you get Daenerys burning men alive.
Awesome.
Lighting, what is that place called?
The Temple of the Dosh Kalin.
Yes, exactly. The Temple of the Old Widows.
Not all old.
That is true. That is because that one girl, she got married to her call when she was 13 12, or 12. Yeah. And so there's the big scene at the end where Daenerys escapes by basically torching the place where all of the calls were having their meeting to decide where she would reside, right? Or not reside.
Yes. And what I loved about the scene is that you have Dario and Jorah going there to rescue her, and she does not need your rescuing, guys.
She's got
the
mother of dragons, the unburnt, the something of the something or another.
Yes. Yeah,
exactly.
Daenerys, yeah, I could go through it. I'm not going to, but no, it was an awesome scene. I mean, like it was derivative of the season closer of season 1, but I didn't care. It was on a grander scale, and this finally gets her army. They get to go get rid of the masters or whatever they're going to do, and Astapor and Yunkai, and then finally leave Marine. Please, leave Marine.
Agreed. Now, I will say, while that was the big moment for a lot of people, for me, the big moment was when we hear a knock on the door at Castle Black, and they open it, and it's Brienne and Sansa
and Pod.
And I'm like, OMG. Jon Snow, apparently, when he walked out last week, didn't go anywhere because he's still at Castle Black.
He was just taking a stroll.
He was just taking a walk. And they're reunited. And I read online, I think one of our coworkers actually tweeted this, that this is the first scene where Sansa and Jon Snow have been, they've never been in the scene together.
I can see that, I guess. I mean,
guess.
Yeah. I mean, she left King's Landing in the second episode of the show, so that makes sense.
Right. So that was heartwarming. Finally, two characters who want to meet up actually do meet up.
I know. I have to admit, I cried.
Did you?
I cried. I'm watching the show for the third time through now with my son, and the last time I think I cried was when Ned got killed at the end of the first season. Yeah. And so I haven't really cried since then, but I was, and it's not even like Jon and Sansa were the Starks I wanted to see reunite the most, but just the fact that any of them reunited was so wonderful.
Well, that to me signified that we are not racing toward the finale, but we are headed in that direction. Yeah, finally.
And it was also the great interaction between them was Sansa stepping up and saying, "No, we're going to take back Winterfell. That's right. Whether I get your help, Jon, or not, and would like it."
And speaking of Winterfell, our favorite. Not favorite, least favorite.
Cretin.
What is he? He
sadist.
Is so much worse than Joffrey.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, can he go already? See, this is what Game of Thrones doesn't do well, that I've said what The Walking Dead does extremely well, is that a character will annoy the crap out of you for seasons. They make you stay with this person, and they won't kill them. And I'm like, he needs to go.
Their evil is not very multidimensional. I mean, they're just awful. They don't really have a whole lot of I mean, like, that's not true. I mean, there are some characters who like Cersei, I think what's going on there is very interesting. Mm-hmm. Even Peter Baelish, we finally see again. It's like you're always wondering, he's awful, but like, what is he doing? What are his motives? Right. But like the two worst people were Joffrey and Ramsay, and it's like there's just nothing that makes them really interesting to me.
So Ramsay murdered, what's her name? Osha. She was trying to get him by stabbing him in the back, but couldn't reach the knife, and then he got her in the jugular.
Yeah. Oh well.
What can you do? So Game of Thrones moving along nicely. What was that? Episode 4?
Episode 4.
So we have 6 more to go.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out. Now let's get to some news. Okay. All right, lots of things happening in the news. Some breaking news. I feel like the last time when this story originally broke, we were also recording a podcast. Former Real Housewives of New Jersey stars Amber and Jim Marchese have spoken exclusively to People magazine about allegations of domestic assault. This all stems from the April 20th incident where Jim was accused of choking Amber on a flight scheduled to take off from LAX to New Jersey. He was taken into custody and released on $50,000 bail. However, never wants to go quietly into the night. It should be noted that officials have dropped the charges against Jim, and instead of just holing up in their New Jersey house, happy that they don't have to go through this anymore, they're instead filing a $100 million lawsuit against Virgin America.
It's like, file a lawsuit, that's fine, especially if what their story is true and they were taken off for no reason, but like $100 million just leaves a really, really nasty taste in my mouth.
Agreed.
When you think about like the average amount of money that like families of wrongful death victims get is like $3 million. It's like, come on.
Right. And so, okay, let me tell you, this is what they say happened. Ready? Amber says, Jim put his hand behind my neck and leaned me closer to him. They were in first class. It was hard to hear, so he pulled me closer so he could whisper to me so the other passengers couldn't hear us. Now, I should say that they were talking about having sex on the plane, joining the Mile High Club in first class.
Okay.
Not surprised.
I'm surprised they haven't joined it yet, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Jim says, my understanding is that the flight attendant saw my arm around the back of Amber during their little PDA, and that's where the accusation came from. I don't know definitely if it was a flight attendant, but I assume it was her because she's the only one who could notify the captain and call the police. Dun dun dun.
I mean, you have to understand, I guess, where the police are coming from, that women who are, routinely abused will not leave their abuser or really talk about their abuse. It doesn't sound like that it was the case here.
It doesn't sound like the case at all. Amber does say that she was handcuffed in order to prevent her from approaching Jim after his detainment. But this is my favorite quote from this People
Give me the money
exclusive.
Quote.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. From Amber, she says, "Cops are whipping guns out and shooting poor kids in the street who didn't do anything. It's really scary. I could never imagine a mother who lost their child because they couldn't keep their guns in their harness." What does that have to do with anything, Vicki?
I don't know, but I follow Jim Marchese on Twitter, and he's very conservative. I don't know if he's ever tweeted about that, but he is very pro-police. I remember that from his Twitter feed. So I thought it was an interesting thing for her to say.
I think it's very interesting. So Vicki Hyman, forget People. Vicki Hyman will keep you up to date on NJ.com /entertainment and on Twitter at Vicki Hy, V-I-C-K-I-H-Y.
Jim Marchese, call me.
Yes, please, Jim. Call this podcast, actually. We'd love to talk to you.
He has my phone number.
Well, why don't we call him?
I have tried. You think I didn't reach out to him?
I think we should do it live on the air next week. We call Jim Marchese and see what happens.
We're not going to get through to him.
All right, whatever. Somebody tweet Jim about this and see what he says. In other news, there is some big TGIT news coming out of the upfronts. Thank goodness it's Thursday.
Yes.
After 2 seasons, ABC has pulled back on its all Shondaland-produced drama block. So Scandal, which will only have 16 episodes next season because Kerry Washington's pregnant, and it will debut mid-season. Scandal will not be in the lineup when fall comes around, so it'll be Grey's Anatomy, Notorious, which is a new show.
Looks
and then
terrible.
I know, it doesn't look good at all. It's on my list. We're going to talk about the pilots later. And then followed by the 3rd season of How to Get Away with Murder, which we all know is also pretty terrible. That's it.
And The Catch is coming back also mid-season.
Yes, The Catch, which we were
renewed.
supposed to talk about this week. It has been renewed. We'll talk about it when the season ends. But did you watch last week?
I'm still not caught
All
up.
right, that's fine. That's fine. We will get to The Catch because it still has many problems. And then finally, there is a possibility that we will find out, after all, whether or not Diane Lockhart's husband, Gary Cole, cheated on her, because CBS is this close to ordering a Good Wife spinoff starring Christine Baranski.
And I have to use this opportunity to apologize. You are right. You were right, Erin, last week.
What was that?
You were right.
Wait,
Gary Cole did not admit that he had an affair.
Silence in the room.
On the stand. Although it was very much implied.
I want to get a good sound bite of this. Vicki, repeat.
I apologize, Erin, for being wrong.
Who was right?
Erin was right.
Yes.
It was very much implied, though.
That's all I need. All I need in life is for Vicki to confirm how right I am. But the spinoff would star Christine Baranski and Cush Jumbo. Cush Jumbo played the young lawyer that Alicia was mentoring, and they were partners for a while. I like her, too. The show would air exclusively on CBS All Access, which I cannot get behind.
Which is also what they're doing with Star Trek.
With Star Trek, yes.
Just odd.
It's fine. Creators and executive producers of The Good Wife, Robert and Michelle King, would pen part of the project with some other Good Wife writers, but they will not be the showrunners. No. So who knows? Hopefully this goes forward. I think it's interesting. They would obviously have to explain where Alicia is, and I would assume she's off somewhere with Jason.
I hope so. Maybe back in New Jersey.
One can only dream. Vicki, last week, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, there was a flurry
of cancellation
news. It came so fast and furious that one of our loyal listeners, Jack Lugo, tweeted me about a show where I was like, oh, well, there hasn't been a decision made on that. And he was like, no, there has. And I'm like, what? But I turned my head for like 2 seconds. And a show, I think it was renewed, actually, and not canceled. So let's talk about some of the networks here. We'll see what you're sad to see go. Over on CBS, Angel from Hell, we knew that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the cancellation news were foregone conclusion cancellation news, like
Right.
Angel from Hell or Blood and Oil, which had been yanked from the schedule, Minority Report, like lots of shows that we knew.
Okay, so here are the ones that we probably didn't know. On CBS, Rush Hour. I was not surprised.
Was happy. Hopefully, I mean, like you can see from next year's pilots, that there's still very much going into reboots and different kinds of intellectual property, blah blah blah. But I was glad that this got canceled quick. So maybe we will slow down on that and try to have a creative thought in Hollywood.
No, I don't think you should hold your breath on that because
I would die.
Probably not going to happen. All right, so that was on CBS, and then still on the bubble.
Is Limitless.
Which I'm surprised about because that was also based on a movie, and it was critically well received.
It was okay received. I mean, I didn't hate it.
Right.
I mean, they were trying to do something different with it, so I appreciate that.
And I did watch it for a while, and then I moved, and my DVR didn't pick it up, and I was fine with that. But I didn't hate it either. So we'll see what happens to Limitless. Over on NBC... the shows that are gone are Game of Silence. I mean, we could have told you that.
Heartbeat could have told you that too.
Could have told you that too.
I was a little sad about Telenovela.
I thought Telenovela was funny.
I thought it was funny too.
And you know what they picked up? They picked up Superstore.
Superstore. Well, they picked that up a while ago. But yeah, and I didn't really think it was that much better than Telenovela.
I didn't think it was better than Telenovela at all. So there's that. We already knew about The Player. Mysteries of Laura.
Oh, they canceled it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm sorry, Deborah Messing. I didn't hear that. I am so happy. I hated that show with passion.
I remember when that show...
so bad.
When that show premiered. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, this is not good.
It's terrible.
But the ratings were really good that first season. It was pulling in at least 10 million.
It was terrible.
I don't understand how that lasted so long.
I'm so happy.
And then...
The Muppets.
The Muppets, well, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
I'm not terribly surprised, but I'm a little sad.
But the Muppets wasn't on NBC, was it?
No, you're right. That was ABC. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have my little notes.
That's okay.
All
You, Me,
together.
and the Apocalypse, that was canceled.
Yeah, I like that one, but I'm not terribly surprised by that.
All right. And then Undateable. It was a show that was live and on Fridays, and who was watching that?
No.
No one. All right, over on Fox, some of these shows I'd never heard of. Like Border Town.
But it's funny, Border Town with a Seth MacFarlane, who's, God to many people.
Yeah.
Animated comedy that had been coming up on the schedule for like 3 years. Like every year I saw it, and then it was terrible. It was not good.
I never heard of it before today. What about Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life? Another show.
I watched 2 episodes of it. It's a Ferris Bueller light. It wasn't like the worst thing ever. I didn't really know how it even got on TV. It was sort of so fluffy and not very interesting.
I didn't.
But let's get to a couple of the Fox shows that I'm very sad about.
All right, wait, let me guess. Ready?
The one that I'm really sad about.
The Grinder.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I almost went Grandfathered, but I wasn't sure.
I did like Grandfather too, but The Grinder makes me sadder, and I hope it actually can find another life somewhere else.
Do you think that's a possibility? I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like that
the Mindy
kind of show.
Project got life somewhere else, and I mean, Rob Lowe was great in it. Fred Savage is wonderful as a straight man. It was a clever concept. It was a clever take on a legal comedy. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really sad to see it go.
The ratings started out well for both of those shows, and then they
weren't like spectacular, but they were solid. I was really surprised because it takes a lot of money to develop new comedies, and they've got new ones on the they've got new ones ready to go, and I don't think any of them is going to do like really any better than The Grinder did. The Grinder rests.
Well, our one New Jersey connection here on Fox, Second Chance, starring New Jersey's own Tim DeKay.
Is he?
He went to Rutgers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
I like Tim McKay. Tim DeKay, from Carnival.
Yes, that was canceled. All right, over on the CW. I love the CW because they rarely have like a ton of shows.
I know. That's what I like about them too.
I mean, it's the best. So there are only 2 shows that they canceled, Beauty and the Beast and Containment.
I watched Containment and did not like it. Not surprised.
Never
by
heard of that one.
Yeah, it was about vomiting blood and.
Ooh, nope.
Yeah,
not watching.
No.
But I'm surprised the Vampire Diaries got picked up for another season.
Really?
I was a loyalist until this season. Again, I moved. My DVR didn't pick it up, and I was okay with that.
Was this the first season or the second season since
This was the first
Elena
season
left.
since Nina Dobrev left the show. But if they're smart, they will end it after this upcoming season because. As someone, again, a loyalist who thought the show was pretty darn good, the time has come.
Oh. And for you, you're really sad about the cancellation
of
Castle.
Oh my God. Let's take a tangent for a sec. So last night was actually the series finale of Castle. We found out last week that it would not be coming back. We found out a couple of weeks before that Stana Katic was not coming back. And Tamala Jones. So everyone thought, well, how is the show going to continue with just Castle? Because Castle and Beckett are really, they're a duo. In my mind, when they announced it was canceled last week, I didn't think that this week was the series finale. I thought we had maybe 2 more episodes to go. So I'm thinking we have plenty of time. I'm sure they knew this was on the horizon. We're going to go out with a great story. It'll be wonderful. It's not going to be The Good Wife. Oh,
you were wrong.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. So basically, one of the pitfalls, I think, of Castle is that they have these through storylines that continue sometimes for seasons, and you forget about them because every other week it's just a procedural. There's a new story every week. And so this season it was something called Lockset, I want to say. Now, mind you, I watch the show every freaking week. I think it's Lockset, unsure. And so that was a story, and we're trying to figure out who's trying to kill Beckett and this other guy that she worked with, and that's why she and Castle had to break up for a while, even though they just got married, yada, yada. It was super boring, right? We get to the finale, so you figure they're going to reveal who Lockset is. It turns out to be Gerald McRaney, who made one previous appearance this season. Makes zero sense that he's the head of Lockset. And so they capture him, and then you think the show's over, but there's still 15 minutes left, so you're like, something else has to happen. Richard Castle and Beckett are back in their home. They're all happy, lovey-dovey. This other bad guy who we thought was in jail, but apparently isn't, Caleb, comes out of nowhere, shoots Castle. Then Beckett hears this from the bedroom, runs out. She turns her gun on him. He shoots her. She shoots him. And then Castle and Beckett are both lying on
there
the ground.
In a
pool of blood, holding hands. Right? So then you're like, what the hell's happening? So then
is there more?
Wait, there's more. So then you see them holding hands, and you hear something that sounds like a flashback to an earlier Castle episode where they're talking about, I don't know, something about working together. And then all of a sudden it says 7 years later. And it's like a montage of Castle and Beckett living happily ever after with their 3 children. To which my first thought was, I don't know how old Beckett is supposed to be on the show, but I think in 7 years she will not be pushing out 3 kids.
Well, she's pushing out 3. Well, were the kids young?
Well, they were young. None of those kids were 7. I'll say that. So maybe,
the women are giving birth well into their 40s.
Guess. Oh my gosh, did you hear about the woman in India who's 72 years old? But why?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyway, I will say the series finale of Castle was terrible.
So do you think that they had them on the ground, they were both shot, so that next season one of them, she was not going to come back?
Correct.
And, okay, so that's really late.
And I think they
So they just threw something together.
Right. They figured, show's ending, we got to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up and just say 7 years later they're living happily ever after. I'd rather them wrapped it up by having her get shot and then she dies. And then we see the aftermath of that real quick.
Do you think most of the fans of the show would be happy?
I think most of the fans of the show are not happy with that crap we saw last night. I'm just saying.
I mean, do you understand that it must have been difficult because they thought it was really going to go on, that, okay, now we got to
I will say I would understand. However, as I've mentioned, I believe on the show previously, the season finale last season was a perfect wrap up. They went to some awards dinner and they were all sitting together, the whole cast at a table and talking and looking lovingly, and it was great. And I think because they thought last season was going to be the first season, because when that aired, they hadn't been picked up yet. And I thought that was a great ending. Then there was this thing we got yesterday.
Now I want to watch it.
Oh, good.
Not all 7 or 8 seasons?
No, just watch. Just watch the finale. No need to catch up on Castle. But yes, so ABC, Agent Carter is another show I'm sad to see go.
I'm sorry, you didn't see me do a massive shrug. Sorry.
Not something you watched?
Not something I watched the first episode. I was like, fine. And I think there was another Marvel show that did not get picked up. It was a pilot.
The one with Adrian Palicki?
Yeah.
Yes, from Friday Night Lights.
Yes. So that did not get picked up. So maybe the Marvel sheen is
wearing off,
fading.
I think it's her actually, because remember she was supposed to star in the Wonder Woman reboot a couple seasons ago, and that didn't get picked up either.
But isn't she in one of the new? She's in Haley Atwell, right? She's in Conviction.
No, Adrienne Palicki.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were back to Haley Atwell. From,
Adrienne Palicki is a show killer
from Agent Carter.
She's not even a show killer. She's a show non-starter.
Okay.
Sorry. I love you, though. Also canceled was The Family.
No surprise.
Glad that's almost over. Oh, no, it's still on. One more episode to go.
I know, but it's not coming back.
It's not coming back. But you know what? When it's done, I'm going to give you a full season recap.
Oh, God, no.
No, because it's had so many crazy things happen that I'm just like, Vicki needs to hear about this.
But Dr. Ken and The Odd Couple were picked up.
Still on.
Ridiculous.
Still on. But the Muppets was canceled.
Odd Couple, 3rd season, people. 3rd season.
Dr. Ken, remember how we ripped that show when it first premiered?
They're both awful in kind of the same way.
Correct. They're both very much CBS awful, though. Like, I'm surprised they're on ABC.
That's true.
Right? All right. So those are all the major network cancellations. But now let's get to...
Hold on. Was Odd Couple on CBS or was it on ABC?
Oh, no, that's on CBS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Ken's on ABC.
Dr. Ken is on ABC. Now let's talk about the upfronts are happening as we speak. NBC, ABC, and Fox have released trailers for their...
ABC released like 10 seconds at most.
It's like a soundbite, but not even
hard
cohesive.
to judge, but Erin had no problem doing it.
You know me. I can judge on a dime. So let's start with NBC. Can you go in order?
I can go in order. I just want to point out that I did actually rank all the pilots from last season, and I just wanted to say like how badly I did.
Okay, let's hear it.
So among my most promising last season, a couple of obvious ones: X-Files and Supergirl, which were both very good and both picked up. I also liked Life in Pieces, also got picked up. Blind Spots. Among my less successful predictions, Frankenstein Code, which became Second Chance, which is one of the most horrific, horrible, terrible shows I saw.
I was going to say, did that even come on? But yes, it did.
Oh, it was terrible.
That's our Tim DeKay show.
It was terrible, but among the shows that I did not have high hopes for was Quantico. Which I ended up liking and then I ended up hating. So.
I've hated it from the beginning. Still watching, by the way. Did you watch the season finale?
Not yet.
Wait, can I ruin it for you?
Ruin it for me,
please. This is another situation where I need
It is Liam, though, right?
Okay, wait for it.
Oh, please tell me it's Liam.
It is Liam. However, another show where there were still 16 minutes to go, and I was like, something else has to happen. What did I say 2 months ago? Who did I say was the bad guy?
Are you seriously asking me who you said was the bad guy?
Who did I said...
After we've been talking about this every week for a year. I
don't
know.
The bad guy was Marsha Cross. Because why else would she be there? And guess what?
She's working with Liam?
Yes, she was.
Why?
Don't know.
Watched next season?
And I next season. So Alex is out of the FBI. Marsha Cross is still the vice president. Alex confronts her and like reveals this whole like how she was working with Liam thing, which made zero sense.
Dead?
Liam's dead. Alex shot him in the head. And now Alex is out of the FBI. She goes for a run. A car pulls up next to her. These guys get out. The guy says, "Get in." She does it. I don't know why. And he turns out to be from the CIA. And they have a job for her. Ugh. Now, how can you call the show Quantico if she's going to be working for the CIA?
I don't know. I mean, are they going to continue with the flashbacks again? I don't know. Maybe it'll be, I guess they can't change the name of it. Maybe it'll be flashbacks for CIA training. I don't know. The season after that'll be her Coast Guard training.
But I will say that your point last week was well taken in this season finale where you said, I can't believe that these are the only people in the FBI that they entrust to figure this out. And that was even more ridiculous this week where I didn't tell you that Simon, spoiler alert, drives off a bridge with a nuclear bomb in his car in order to save the world.
Does he?
He does.
Die?
He does. Yes, because the bomb goes off.
Underwater. Which is not going to cause any problems anywhere.
No, minimizes the damage.
Does it really?
If the car goes down 100 feet. I would have Googled that. Which, by the way, there's no way, because the car went into the water and then like 2 seconds later the bomb blew up, so there's no way it went down. The whole thing was ridiculous. Let's just summarize season 1 of Quantico as being absolutely ridiculous on all fronts.
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
Okay. Then that's it.
Except for her hair.
Hair still looks good. Still looks good. All right. So what else did you have on your list for last season that you thought was going to do well? Does that say Angel from Hell?
That says Angel from Hell. It's one of my more embarrassing ones. I said Scream Queens would do well. And, I did not like it, but, it got picked up again. The ones that I hated. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the most embarrassing one. What? I said The Catch would do well, and I said Wicked City looks great. Wicked City looked great.
It did look great based on the trailer.
It was the first show canceled.
It was.
That was so sad.
Womp womp. All right, so let's talk about the new shows this season. Let's start with NBC. We watched all of these trailers. Well, for NBC, there were only 3. Right?
Unless I missed. Yes.
Okay. So The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell.
I loved it.
No.
I loved it. I thought it was so fun.
Okay, wait. Let's tell people what it is. So Kristen Bell dies and goes to heaven, but she's not a good person. They mixed it up. They thought she was someone else, and the whole thing takes place in heaven, which looks very much like Earth.
But awesome. Awesome all the time. It was like Defending Your Life, which is one of my favorite movies. Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. Loved it.
You give a thumbs up to The Good Place.
Oh yeah, I think it looks great. And what I loved is that it's like a weird comedy. There's a bunch of weird comedies on, and they're not just on Fox this year.
Right.
So kudos to NBC. I'm looking forward to that one.
All right. How about This Is Us, starring Mandy Moore? Oh,
no.
Okay. All right.
Well, you can give me your opinion. I mean, I don't like it.
My opinion. I wrote it down. Meh.
No.
MEH. That's all I got. It's from the writers and directors of Crazy Stupid Love, and honestly, I would explain to you what's happening, but I have no idea.
Yeah, they're all born on the same day, and somehow they're interconnected, but we don't see any of that in the trailer. Like different families, different problems.
Right. I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Moving on. Timeless.
Oh.
That's the one where the historian goes back
terrible.
to stop someone else from changing history.
It looks terrible.
I disagree, and let me tell you why.
Oh my god. It looks like Quantico with time travel.
No, you know what it looks like? It looks like Revolution. It looks like someone had a good idea and
But is there a but here?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Revolution, it will be canceled, or it will come back for a shortened season and then be canceled. I wrote here in my notes that I'd rather watch this as a movie. I don't need it to be a series.
I would invest 2 hours in a bad time travel movie because I love time travel.
You do.
But it looks convoluted, and you really couldn't tell. Actually, they went back to try to stop the Hindenburg disaster, I think,
Jersey
or to try
Connection.
to stop somebody from stopping it happening. I was very unclear.
No, that's what happened. They tried to go back to stop someone from stopping it happening, so they wouldn't.
So it was like, are they going to be jumping to different times? Are they going to stick with that time period? I don't know. It looked bad, and the CGI looked terrible. Presumably, it will get better.
Right.
But it did look really bad.
I will watch that.
Well, I'll watch the
because
first episode.
I watched Revolution. I liked it. All right, let's go to Fox. We'll start with The Exorcist, which I did not watch the trailer for because I don't watch scary things.
It was and it actually had like a couple of genuinely scary moments. I went in going like, it's on Friday nights though, and these kind of shows do well on Friday nights. Gina Davis is not a good harbinger because she also seems to get shows canceled. I thought it looked actually pretty well done. I have concerns as to how they're going to drag it out. It's an updated version of The Exorcist.
Of the movie?
Of the movie, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not watching it. Here's one of my favorites. For me, a standout in all the trailers, Lethal Weapon.
Very interesting you should say that, because I went in with the same attitude I went into Rush Hour, like, but I'm concerned because the tone was all over the place. It was funny, it was serious, it was drama, and like, I couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but I thought that Damon Wayans, who's playing the Danny Glover Murtaugh guy, and I really like this guy, what's his name, Clayne Crawford?
I didn't know who that was.
I know, newcomer, had a heck of a lot of charm as Riggs.
And you know what?
He was selling it.
I think this would make a good companion for Rosewood. I don't know what the schedule is, but for me, that's where I would put it. It also stars Jordana Brewster, which, interesting note, and I'll give a shout out to Dan Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter. Jordana Brewster will star in Lethal Weapon, and Secrets and Lies was moved to the fall.
Oh.
So she'll be on 2 shows, 2 different networks, same time.
Busy girl.
Girl.
I was actually interested in that one. I was surprised myself.
It looked good. I'll watch it. Okay, next we have Son of Zorn.
Another one of these, and this is actually a very good fit for Fox. I thought it was very funny. I can't imagine it's really going to do that well. Yeah. You have like an animated,
what it is,
it's like an animated sort of He-Man-ish character who actually has a wife and a son in the real world. And so he decides he's going to, I don't exactly know what happens, but he decides he wants to spend time in the real world and bring his son, Gulag, I don't even know what the kid's name is, and teach him how to be a animated hero.
Right.
But he's like, got very backwards ideas of, how things should be done and, sex roles and stuff like that. And it looked funny.
So I put, initially
he's actually animated in a real life, sitcom. I mean,
right.
It's very
like he's the
looking.
only animation. I initially put, I'm out.
But then I kept watching.
No. And then I put, I laughed when he killed the bird.
Yes, it was very funny.
That was funny.
That was very funny.
I mean, if you guys should watch the trailer. That part was very amusing. So
it's from the guy who does Last Man on Earth. So
yes, and it also stars Cheryl Hines and Vice President Susan Ross from Scandal. And now we see why she cannot be president.
That's right.
Because she's on this show. All right, next we have APB.
Oh, terrible.
Can I tell you what my note says?
Oh,
let me tell you. My note says, what is happening?
I have no idea. It was like Justin Kirk, who's been in, I think, a couple of failed shows now. Animal Kingdom was the most recent one. It seems like Person of Interest, where you have this billionaire who has like a lot of different toys, and he takes over a precinct where his best friend was killed. And actually, I was thinking that maybe it was going to be his gay lover, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. But no, I think it's just his best friend. And so he outfits a police precinct with all of his, high tech gizmos and toys and drones and what have you, sort of Minority Report-ish maybe too.
And you see what happened to that.
Yes, I mean, no, it's not going to do well.
No, I didn't.
I'm saying right now.
Also, by the way, it takes place in Chicago, and I only need one Chicago police show, and it's called Chicago PD. Just saying. Next, we have Pitch.
I was surprisingly taken by the trailer, but while I'm watching watching the trailer, I was like, I don't think this is going to do well. But they did put together a good trailer.
They did not.
They did put together a good trailer.
My notes,
who's going to watch it, though?
My notes say Lady Baseball. That's number one. It's about a woman who is the first woman to play in the Major League. My second note says Mark Consuelos, Only Saving Grace. And then my third note says, I call BS on the tagline, which is a true story on the verge of happening. Let's be clear. This ain't happening.
No.
The woman is not entering the Major League Baseball anytime soon.
As a pitcher.
As anything. She's not playing in the game. And I am very pro-woman, but we know that is not happening.
Now, we were going to discuss the decision not to move forward with Nancy Drew because it was too female-centric.
Yes.
And I think there's something to be said that looking at your demographics and what the people who watch your show expect, what they like. And, okay, fine. A too female-centric show is not going to do well for you. Was it CBS? I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
I don't really know exactly who's going to watch this one because...
No one.
Yeah.
It's not going to appeal to women and it's not going to appeal to men. So Pitch,
did not get it.
Canceled. All right. Next we have Making History,
which last week I loved and this week I loved, and I hadn't even seen the trailer by that point.
Starring Leighton Meester and some other person.
Adam Pally.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's about two dudes who time travel back from 2016 to when is this?
Colonial times in a duffel bag.
Yes, and they're going to start the Revolutionary War, basically. I thought it was mildly amusing.
I'm in.
All right. Next, we have The Mick. So that's about a woman whose rich sister and her husband get arrested, and she has to take care of their children.
And she's like, a grifter. It's actually kind of like Uncle Buckish, is it not?
I thought it was funny.
Oh, I thought it looked funny too. I don't know how well it's going to do, but it does look. That is kind of like the concept of Uncle Buck.
Yes, kind of. Yeah, and it stars Caitlin Olsen, who I don't know who that is.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, right. You're right. Next, we have from New Jersey's own Queen Latifah. Star.
What'd you think of that one?
Also executive produced by Lee Daniels, and it's about the formation of a girl group with the lead singer being Caucasian and the other two being not Caucasian.
Yeah, like the next Destiny's Child.
It's like Empire with a girl group, but maybe a little less dramatic.
Yeah, I think it didn't look as dramatic. It looked more heartfelt.
Right. You know what? I think people will watch it.
You think?
I think it will be a show that lasts through the season. They're going to pair it with Empire. If they don't, they're dumb.
Well, I mean, it worked for Rosewood.
And the show stars Queen Latifah, Lenny Kravitz, Benjamin Bratt.
Didn't buy Benjamin Bratt at all. You didn't? In the trailer, no.
All right. Well, I wrote down that it seemed very Mariah Carey glitter.
Which I never saw.
Which is probably a good thing.
It didn't really appeal to me.
All right. Next, we have 24 Legacy.
having only ever watched like one season of 24, I was not like one of people clamoring to get it back, but I do like Corey Hawkins a lot, and I was interested in the trailer. I think I'll watch it.
It was fine. I mean, I
know I'm going to watch it because to write about it, but
I didn't watch it before, and I don't think I'm going to start watching it now. But it didn't look bad. Continuing, are we still continuing with Fox? Yes, so many shows.
Prison Break.
No, you skipped one. Well,
how do I know what you skipped?
That's why I have the list. They showed a brief trailer of Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is not really a trailer. Just a one-off. It's a teaser, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be live.
Yeah.
Laverne Cox she wasn't doing it for me.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll see. Prison Break. Oh, I'm so excited. Vicki, did you not watch the original?
I watched like the first season and a half. My husband was a big fan, so it's like
your husband and I have similar viewing tastes.
You have similar terrible tastes. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever.
It's funny. You guys should get together and have your own television.
We should have our own podcast.
Talk about terrible TV.
Whatever.
So yeah, it's like one of those shows that I was sort of into in the beginning, then it kind of just got stupid to me.
It was beyond stupid.
And I don't understand, like, who was clamoring to bring Prison Break back?
Me.
Really?
When it was canceled, I was upset. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
First of all, what is my one criteria for everything?
A hot man.
Thank you.
Okay.
How many do we have on the show? Like, at least 5.
Okay.
So,
I can think of one.
Starting with Wentworth Miller.
Yes.
Who,
agreed.
Look.
Yes.
Every day, all day. All right. Next, we have Shots Fired.
Are you not going to talk to me about what do you think of Prison Break?
What did you think of Prison Break?
No, I'm saying I was not clamoring
what
about
did
that.
I think?
And now it's going to be in like the Middle East, is it?
I said watch before and we'll totally watch again.
Okay.
Cannot wait.
Okay.
Michael Scofield is alive. All right. Shots Fired.
We're still on Fox, right?
Yeah,
this is Fox trying to do like
longest.
ABC prestige drama a la American Crime. Not buying it, not interested. But who
But
knows?
it was weird. It has a strange premise. So basically, an African American cop shoots an unarmed white kid, and that sparks an investigation by someone. I wasn't really clear who, and then stuff happens. The only positive
because they found like evidence that this guy had talked about.
That he was racist.
He was racist.
The black
against
cop.
white people. Yes.
There were 2 positives about this. Jill Hennessy, because I still miss Crossing Jordan.
Oh, I loved Crossing Jordan.
God, so
I was a fan of Crossing Jordan.
So good. And the other positive is that it's only an event series. So
yes, thank God.
We'll be off the air quickly. Okay, so now we have Notorious, which is on ABC.
Notorious
with Piper Perabo.
And Daniel Sunjata, which you must love because he's hot.
Look, the trailer was so brief. I don't know what the show is about. Oh wait, no, it's about the media and something.
The media and something. Yes,
that's how clear
there's an attention seeking, a headline grabbing lawyer, and Piper Perabo is like. I don't even know. It was hard to tell, but just looked bad.
Wait, I have it. Here it is. I think this is from Deadline or TV Line, one of those. It follows the sexy and dangerous interplay between criminal law and the media.
I'm actually really tired of that word "sexy" at ABC because it's like you're doing it to death here, people.
Yes,
I mean,
agreed.
do something else.
All right, so my answer on that
drama.
one. So my snap judgment is no.
That's my snap judgment is also no.
Conviction.
Again, no.
No.
Very much a no. That's the Haley Atwell show about a socialite who starts trying to overturn convictions of the wrongfully imprisoned.
Sure, sounds terrible.
Okay. Yes.
Time after time, no.
When you saw 10 seconds of it, it is based on one of my favorite movies of all time. It does not look good.
It doesn't. Okay.
But it's only based on 10 seconds.
Still star-crossed.
Terrible.
No.
Terrible.
It doesn't even have a good title. Let's be for real.
It's Romeo and Juliet continued. Right. Whatever.
We don't need Romeo
it's from the Shonda Rhimes Factory,
we
too.
We don't need Romeo and Juliet to continue. Designated Survivor. No.
No.
Stars Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Right?
No, Kiefer Sutherland as I think we mentioned last week, maybe like the Department of Agriculture.
Who
I don't know, some guy
becomes the president.
Yeah, because everybody else is killed.
Yes.
Kind of intrigued.
Meh. Speechless. I put yes, but I don't recall what that's about.
Oh, that's the one with I can't remember the actress.
Oh, I remember
the disabled development
Minnie
disabled
Driver?
child. Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver.
Oh my God, this is like
yes. Oh gosh,
we're doing like charades.
No, I thought that looked
dramedy
like it could be funny.
About a mother raising her kid who has special needs.
Correct.
I
thought the one joke
seconds.
they played in that 10-second trailer was funny. Downward Dog, I say no.
I love Alison Tolman. She was in Fargo the first season. She is wonderful. But I am not interested in anything in which animals talk.
Agreed.
Just nothing.
So then I'm
Nothing.
sure you loved Imaginary Mary.
Terrible. Jenna Elfman. But again, another one of these really quirky comedies. Jenna Elfman plays a woman, navigating adulthood, even though, what is Jenna Elfman, 60 now?
I have one word for you.
With an imaginary friend like Wilfred.
Canceled.
Yeah, that's not going to go. That's not going to do well.
So that wraps up all the pilots that have been picked up. I know, we went through the whole list. Next week, we will have the CW and CBS, because we didn't do CBS, right?
Mm-hmm. No, we didn't do CBS.
Okay, so that's what we'll have next week. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TV Hangover Show, at E_meds, at Vicki Hy, VICKIHY. Like us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, all those other places. We're there, so you should be too, I guess. Until next time.